Hi there, Johnny Concert Podcast. My man, Ledbelly.
Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Where's, let's see here. We got, all kinds of stuff going on. Super Bowl stuff. I don't know if we want to talk about Super Bowl stuff.
Experienced an amazing end of the, what happened? I forgot what happened. I don't even know if this is part of the show, but.
Well, whatever we want is part of the show.
We have a lag in our timing, but, so I'm going to get, what I wanted to reference was Bad Bunny's.
I was about to say, do we want to talk about the Super Bowl or not?
It's kind of like, this is just like a time frame thing.
We can talk about it if you want. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was definitely something people will be talking about for a while, so that might be a reason I brought it up.
I prefer his cousin's music, Good Bunny. LOL.
Yeah, that Good Bunny, he's lesser known.
Way lesser known.
So that's the thing.
Who wants to know with a Good Bunny when you can hang out with a Bad Bunny?
I'm still waiting for the interpretation of what I was supposed to learn when I was indoctrinated into our new what we got to learn.
So I'm going to go right ahead and confess something to you guys. I did not watch the halftime show.
Thank God. No, you didn't.
So I don't know anything about it. But I've seen Green Day many times in concert. And
Green Day. I got to watch them too. That was good.
Yeah,
and I actually enjoyed I did watch the performance of the Super Bowl performance. The rhythms were amazing, and the production was pretty top notch. I have to admit that I did not like the close-ups of Bad Bunny running through whatever he was doing, but there's a lot of sets on the field kind of thing.
No, was there also Jay-Z did some
you
trance
couldn't
thing
really
or something?
see the whole scenario at once, but yeah, and of course it's all up for interpretation.
Lady Gaga was in there. No?
What?
Yeah, Lady Gaga entered the fray.
She's all right, I guess.
I enjoyed Ricky Martin.
He's pretty badass. I don't know about Lady Gaga. She's whatever.
Yeah, Lady Gaga had the a real 40s, 30s,
did they
late
play
30s, 40s kind of.
So did Green Day play first, or Bad Bunny play first, or what happened? Or did they play together? What happened?
Yeah, that was kind of a mix where he went and did his costume change probably or something. I don't know. Part of the show, luckily, was kept up to people's, putting bets down, I guess, to see who was going to be the guest.
Oh, yeah. Isn't there a channel now you can bet on anything? Like anything and everything?
Like color of the Gatorade.
Well,
I mean, yeah, exactly.
I'm looking for investors that want to invest in my idea, which is betting on the weather, because everybody's an expert, but nobody knows.
Well,
especially people that are experts.
Mark Twain said, everybody talks about the weather, but nobody's ever done anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great topic. What are you going to do?
Hey, man, how about them Broncos? There's just, if you are talking to somebody you have nothing to say to or you don't know.
That's what everybody says.
You keep it light. Talk about the weather.
No, yeah, I'm bad at these things, but
it's these days you can't talk about politics. People won't even let you. So I try, but sometimes,
yeah.
But yeah, so
actually,
you go with how about the Broncos or how about that weather?
Right. There's certain key phrases that'll continue a conversation, if you will.
Well, it cracks you up if people talk about a weather event now. Well, of course it's an event. It's weather. You don't need to put the word event on there. That's a George Carlin there.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing. I love that reference.
That's funny stuff. So, all right, well, we're going to do our paraphernalia of the day. Pardon me. This is a guitar pick from the band Korn. I don't know if you can see that or not. And the guitar player Head. And it was kind of, I'm trying to think when it was. It was right when they came out with the album, when they did the cover of Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall. And so I was at Fiddler's Green, one of my venues I go to a lot. It's right by my house, and it's I know a lot of people there, so I love that venue. It's become my favorite venue. The sound at Fiddler's Green is sick. It might be the best sound I've ever heard in my life. It's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I can't oversell it. Anyway, so I usually go down. If you're coming in, I go down the first aisle. So my friends have seats in 102, but on the aisle towards towards the VIP and bar area. But this time I happened to go to the other down aisle, and I went down to about row 10 for some reason. I was just standing there, kind of in the aisle, kind of in the first seat there, and they played Another Brick in the Wall. And Head played the guitar solo. And after the guitar solo, he flipped this pick, and it went all the way to me, and I caught it right out of the air without even barely moving. And everybody looked around me like, how the hell did you just catch that, dude? I'm like, I don't really know. I just put my hand up, and there it was.
Nice.
But it was really cool because he had just finished the solo with it, and he flipped it, and it went, it's like 30, 40, 50 feet.
It went
easy,
like a frisbee
maybe
to
more.
you.
It went like a frisbee, dude.
No one else, but it wasn't
was
clipped
wild.
like in the Super Bowl almost happened.
No, it was cut. Yeah, right. Or Lindsey Vonn clipped again.
Like, oh, tip.
No, it had a little curve to it too. I remember just kind of seeing it, but I didn't barely react to it. I just put my hand up and got overhead too. Not even. So it was really cool.
Fantastic.
It was meant to be.
You can't.
It's meant to be.
That stick that you caught at Tool was the best.
Well, that was
thing.
one of the best
I was
ones.
directly
That's one of
next
the
to
best
you.
ones.
Watch that. And I'm like, I'm glad you caught it because I probably would have missed it or something.
I've actually caught a lot of stuff right out of the air. With no scrounges on the floor for it.
I had a Tony Iommi pick bounce right off my head.
Oh
so,
my
yeah.
God, I was so pissed off at that one.
Yeah.
So I was in the front row. It was a true front row that time at Fiddler's Green. Fiddler's Green often has a front row, then there's a barricade, then there's a pit in front of the front row. So front row seats, but sometimes they do a true front row at Fiddler's, and the seats go all the way to the barricade. And so that was what this was. And I was in the front row. 10 feet from Tony Iommi. It was absolutely incredible. It was a heaven and hell. And he threw a guitar pick. It was a little bit down from me and hit the barricade and bounced back in towards where the bouncers are. And so I didn't say anything. Nobody seemed to see it. I just said, I'm going to get that one later. And then at the end of the show, it was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. And so at the end of the show, and that's one of my most coveted picks I could ever get.
Damn right.
So at the end of the show, I had known this bouncer guy named Mike that I said, dude, there's a guitar pick right down there. Hand it to me. He picks it up, puts it in his pocket, and walks away. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Mike.
He didn't even know it was there, man. Not Mike Fruitman. It was the other Mike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the bald guy. He was usually cool to me, and I worked at Argus for a little bit. I knew him. And I'm like, dude, are you kidding me right now? He didn't even acknowledge me. Put it in his pocket and walked away really fast so I couldn't say anything to him. Like, give me my fucking pick, dude. That's one of the most amazing picks I would ever had. Tony Iommi. I call Tony Iommi the riff master general because he just invented so many freaking incredible riffs.
Seriously.
And so many riffs, newer riffs, are spawned from that. Sometimes even I don't even think the guitar players know they spawn from there. Because they're so ingrained and they're so at the foundation of heavy metal and hard rock maybe, but heavy metal. He
developed all those riffs with half of a fingertip.
With your 2 fingers cut off.
Like he uses prosthetic
he
fingertips to actually play guitar left-handed.
Crazy story.
So and that was that's the determination to go forward because he didn't want to get his fingers cut off all the way. He wanted to play guitar.
He's
like that was not.
It's the craziest story. Black Sabbath all worked in the mill, the plant,
the Birmingham plant.
Yeah. So that's just what you did in those days in Birmingham. You just as soon as you got of age, you worked at the plant.
Yeah, you cut his hand in the saw, and
it was the last day they'd finally got a record contract.
Yeah, that's right.
And there was a machine he would bring down. It was his. He would bring it down and cut a certain textile. I can't remember if it was a textile or something or other. But it was the last day of work before they were going to go on tour, put out, make albums. They got to pay. They signed a contract. They got to pay some down money. And it was the last day, and he sliced off the tips of his fingers. Unbelievable.
Have you ever heard any of the demos that were recorded before that, I guess?
With Earth or with Rare Breed?
Anybody. Yeah, I guess Earth had some records or a record.
Well, I think Earth was just a blues band, mostly tribute blues band.
So that was the catalyst to get the record contract. So yeah,
I don't know if I've ever heard any of that stuff. I'm sure I have.
I don't have
any,
but that in my
nothing.
catalog,
Nothing stands out to me.
Imagine if he had a different sound at that point. I've never considered that.
That's actually a really good point, Ledbelly.
Yeah, because
To-
it's actually kind of common knowledge, still before our time, but how he's the whole Black Sabbath career he's played with prosthetic fingertips.
It has two tips on his fretting hand, and it hurt like hell to play. And then also it was kind of numb, so he didn't have it was numb and it hurt like hell. I don't know how that works, but so
Yeah,
but your fretting hand, you're trying
Definitely
to bend those notes
irritating.
and get some feel, and if you're not feeling it, you're trying to get feel. That's,
right. You got to have
that's gonna be a little tough.
absolutely. You got to be able to know it's not when it's right or wrong. Kind of if you already know how to play, and all of a sudden it's different. I think it's going to be obvious, but. Yeah, it's hard to describe, I'm sure.
Well, that's the other part of the birth of heavy metal was because it hurt his fingers to play, so he'd downtuned, or he'd loosen the strings, and so he got a little downtune
right.
go, and that's
Now
where
everybody
that
loves
sound came from. Yeah, now
There's
people
a
do
lot
it
of bands that have that signature sound that was
They even,
developed. by
they even
Black
have a lower
Sabbath.
string, or they just, But anyway, so he loosened those strings, and that's what got that amazing tritone Black Sabbath invention of heavy metal. So.
You know
Good
that's
stuff.
right.
But we digress. We were talking about this guitar pick.
Yeah, it's kind of about the. I love that.
That's good stuff.
You actually had that opportunity to make a connection with Tony as well, but
Oh, man.
Korn, there's
Well,
some
that-
good stories about Korn. They were a great live group.
Well,
so-
that night I actually had more of a connection with Ryan James Dio because they played Falling Off the Edge of the World from the
Heaven Hell
Mob Rules
tour.
album,
Fuck,
which
man.
I love that song.
Oh man.
And so I was singing along to it and knew every word. And I'm telling you, if Ryan James Dio sees you and you're singing the words, he points right at you and he gives you a thumbs up. And he's not pretending to look your direction. He's looking right at you, and you feel it. And it's you have a moment with Dio. I've had many moments with Dio. It's like 3 or 4. And
That's
mostly the best one was probably on Stargazer when he used to do Heaven and Hell, and then they'd segue into Stargazer, and then they come back and finish Heaven and Hell. But in the middle of Stargazer, there's a part where he stops and he says, "Oh, where do we go?" And it stopped. It was Dio, Motorhead, and Iron Maiden, and Ronnie James Dio was playing, and he stopped. So he goes Heaven and Hell into Stargazer, and then he stops. And for some reason, I just said, "Oh, where do we go?" It's loud at the top of my lungs, and nobody else did. He pointed right. I was in the front row. He pointed right at me. Dude. I was like, "Yes." And they're like, "Oh yeah, sure. Dio saw you." I'm like, "Dude, trust me. When Dio saw me, we had a moment because and he make that. That was another thing that which he was so great at. He'd make you feel like, he was having a connection with you, and he did. I swear to God, he did. I mean,
I'm sure he recognized that at that point. That's why he's like, "Yeah, dude,
well, it's just
rock on."
Not everybody knows about the old Stargazer. One of the best drum intros of all time, by the way, Cozy Powell.
Yeah, there's some obscure references that I'm not too familiar with.
Well, I love a good esoteric reference, and so
Yeah, Dio was the man, though, man. I mean, if you had the chance to connect with him musically, and that even as an audience member,
yes,
amazing. But
It was
you're
so
feeling
good.
that connection.
So cool.
You gotta that's something that I kind of wish that I would have had that last chance to see him when they played at Red Rocks on the Heaven Hell tour.
oh yeah, I saw that one. Excellent show. The highlight of that was when they played Die Young and they opened up with this guitar solo. But they pointed at Tony Iommi and all the lights came on him, and it almost looked like he had like a cocoon around him of these lights, and he started doing this kind of just guitar kind of. It seemed like I don't know if it was improv, but it wasn't really part of the song. He's kind of playing around the theme and like introducing the song, and it was like, I mean, it was like he was the only one. He was like an image floating, an image cut in time, if you will. And it was wow, was that good?
Yeah, man, I regret missing that show so much, but yeah, I'm glad you gave me a review just now. So.
There you have it. It was absolutely, both of those were incredible, dude. I mean, Heaven and Hell album and the Mob Rules album are just. Are you kidding me right now?
Because I couldn't walk right, and it was a Red Rock, so I knew I couldn't make it. But then, in retrospect, there's ways to get those first row tickets.
Front row, yeah. That's
Because
right.
I'd
You get the
hurt
wheelchair
myself 2 nights
accessible.
before a priest, And yeah,
I've been telling you, this rock and roll concert lifestyle is not for everybody, man. It's tough out there. You get injuries occur, and it's not for the weak at heart. LOL.
Yeah, but yeah, now I know that. Well, yeah, I survived that, but all this lament because I fucking.
Which priest was it?
They were headlining Red Rocks, and I got right up there, so I was like kind of lit. Second row.
Priest at Dio?
No. Priest at Red Rocks and Heaven and Hell.
Oh, it was
show
two nights
like
before. It was 2 nights before.
The next night or the night after that.
Right. No, that sounds familiar now.
Yeah, and I was like, I can't make it because I can't walk. And
it wasn't Halford, was it? Remember that Halford?
Yeah,
show?
No, it wasn't. I haven't seen Halford live. Well,
Halford.
I don't recall seeing Halford.
It was an incredible lineup. It was Halford and.
But it was after regroup with Priest. It was recently after. It was after the initial regroup, but yeah, it was like Red Rocks, with fucking the original
Red
members
Rocks,
of
yes.
Priest. So
original members of Priest. Wow, I'll never forget that Ozfest. It was original members of Slayer. Slayer had Dave Lombardo. Had gone, they kicked him out, and then he came back in for that album. Then they had kicked Rob Halford out of Judas Priest, and he came back for that tour. And then it was the original 4 guys of Black Sabbath, which had played together in umpteen years.
Right.
And I think they were even talking about getting a different drummer, but they didn't. They went with Bill Ward. And so...
yeah, I can't remember. Well, I missed the Ozzy on that, or missed the Black Sabbath set, so... I guess it was Bill Ward on that tour, wasn't it? No?
Yeah, that tour was actually Bill Ward. It was the original 4. Absolutely, it was.
Yeah,
I told you that's
why I was so bummed out.
The only time it was like this palpable feeling of power in the air. It was absolutely. I mean, it's undeniable. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. I've talked about it before too. The only other time I felt that is when I saw the Pope at McNichols Arena, John Paul II,
Nice.
and he was sitting in his chair, his throne or whatever, and he lifted his hand like this, like to do a benediction or a blessing or something like that. And it was just this power just surging through the air.
Wow.
It was incredible.
Wow.
Just it wasn't surging through the air, actually. It was just like all-encompassing. The whole McNichols Arena, I was like, whoa. Like a wave of power, dude.
Experience,
pure power. It was a religious experience. And it was one of those times when I was at that age where I'm like, whatever, dude. I'll go to church anymore. It's like, but that was like, whoa, yeah. But I mean, I almost went as a skeptic, like, I don't know about the Pope, whatever. But then I was like, whoa.
Heavy, man.
And the only other time I felt that is at the Black Sabbath Ozfest concert with Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And it was just this feeling of dread and power coming over us. I was like, whew. And that night, Judas Priest played, what's the song? Stay in class. Exciter. Stand back for Exciter. Down to your knees and repent, if you please. So good, dude.
Yeah, I
and
did.
Slayer, oh my gosh, that was a hell of a show. During Slayer, people just started picking up parts of the car of the sod. The Fiddler's Green has a big green area at the top, and I don't know if they were cutting it up or how they were getting it loose, but they were just throwing big, huge chunks of sod.
When it gets rainy up there, it comes loose.
That's what it was.
Just because you're standing on it.
That's what it was. It was wild stuff.
Yeah, I remember that early part. I was slipping up there.
Slip slide, no way.
That was a good party.
Time keeps on slipping,
that was all
slipping,
day, man.
slipping.
That thing happened all day long.
All day, baby. No, that was literally one of the best shows.
In the afternoon.
Because think about how distraught we were. We were so distraught, dude, that Dave Lombardo wasn't a Slayer. We were incredibly distraught that Rob Halford wasn't a Judas Priest, as good as Ripper Owens is. When we were just like, we really didn't know what to do. And we had to say Black Sabbath had been better together in decades, We'd never seen Black Sabbath together.
A whole lot of sense.
So we were just like, this is it was like the second coming almost,
Yeah, it was like, we're here to witness something.
We're here to witness, it was just so good, too, just so good. But Ripper Owens, I saw Judas Priest with Anthrax at the Paramount Theater. When Rob was on the band, they didn't play the arenas, they played the theaters. And so it was at the Paramount Theater, and John Bush was the singer of Anthrax at the time. They had replaced Joey Belladonna with John Bush, who's a singer from Armored Saint and a very powerful singer. But in Anthrax, it kind of worked, but to me it didn't quite work. But But then Judas Priest was playing. I mean, they're used to having stage shows bigger than the Paramount Theater itself. And they were in the Paramount Theater. And then afterwards, my girlfriend at the time, Paula Hart, she was this gorgeous girl. And they said, yeah, you're going backstage. And she's like, well, I'll bring my boyfriend. They're like, oh, man. So they brought me. They let me come back there. And I talked to Glenn Tipton from Judas Priest. It was Glenn Tipton, this other girl. It was just a groupie or fan, whatever she was. And then my girlfriend and I, the four of us, we just started talking. And because everybody else was being grumpy and they didn't really want to just have after they, these guys had been doing backstage after show things for decades. So like most of them were over it. But Glenn Tipton and I remember asking him about different guitar players. I'm like, do you know who Buckethead is? This and that. And he's like, I don't know who any of those guys are. And I said, what's going on? He said, well, I don't listen to other people's music because I think, he said, I know it will seep into my subconscious and I'll start writing songs and I'll realize that it's not my song. I wrote, somebody else wrote the songs. So he said, I only listen to songs that I wrote or that I'm working on. Only listen to those. He doesn't listen to anything else, which is like, wow. We were drinking an Amstel Light at the
There's a topic. I mean, there's a few folks that say that, but it's kind of a hard line,
I kind of believe it because, his guitar playing is just it's a little different than everybody else's. And it doesn't really follow a rhyme and reason at some points. Like his solos are just different than what a regular guitar player would play. Not a great guitar player, but just where a normal musician's mind would go. And Glenn Tipton's don't go there. They go to other places.
Brilliant.
And so it is
smart.
It's his own thing. It really is. But that's still, I mean, if you're in that position, how do you not listen to?
Well, we love guitarists that we recognize their style. That's part of the whole rock and roll scheme, I think, is
right.
The guitarists that have a identifiable signature to their music. But in that falls in that, what you're saying is if you don't listen to anybody else, you can't be compared to anybody else. So it's hard to find anybody with that kind of work ethic, if you will. But, I like to think music is always derivative, but...
derivative, that word has a negative connotation, I think so. But
could be.
Yeah, but it's derivative just because I think by nature it has to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not.
Everything derives from something. But I see. I know your point. I see what you're saying.
A whole honesty to the fact that that's where we are now is music has developed into things, but yeah,
or devolved, either developed or devolved. One of the two. We're not sure.
I think there's definitely an argument for that.
I don't know if there's a good band after 1990.
Yeah, that's the kind of where this one went. We loved the. Well, it was worthy, but what's worthy?
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. So, are we getting to the topic of the day at any time? Today, we're just rambling on and on. But I digress. I always say I was going to call the podcast, but I digress.
No, I think we just we did a topic of sorts.
Hey man, it went where it went. Stream of consciousness.
I kind of I don't know how to outline it particularly, but I love being able to talk with you.
Amen.
And make
Ledbelly and I've been swapping stories for quite some time. I remember a couple times that I'd be like, we were talking at a concert and everyone's talking about past concerts and somebody say, well, did you see that one concert or whatever? I'm be like, no, I didn't see that one. And Ledbelly's like, dude, you totally saw that one. I was standing right next to you at that one. I'm like, I was? Okay.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Reaffirming our memories is half of this battle.
I do remember an amazing amount of details and
that's
nuances
why I'm here,
and stuff.
I love listening to it, man.
But I just, I mean, it's incredible sometimes. I don't even know how I remember that much. But there's also times when you just can't remember it all. There's a few that slipped on by.
Yeah, and we hope our audience has some of these recollections that maybe
leave a comment.
Present.
Sometimes.
And you can expound on their,
tell us we're wrong if we're wrong. Not bloody likely, but, you never know.
Yeah, there's that if you want to counteract.
Well, there was the one time that I thought I was wrong, and then I realized I wasn't wrong. That's the only time I've ever been wrong.
You did. Well,
good stuff. So,
naturally.
Topic of the day, concept albums. Vinyl concept albums. Well, I guess album has to be vinyl, kind of. But
Does anyone remember?
does anybody remember Laughter?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that where you were going with that, or something else?
No, yeah. I mean, it's like I think everybody would know one of our real good references to that concept album thing would be The Wall, Pink Floyd's The Wall,
Pink Floyd's The Wall.
which was a lot of course they made a movie out of it. So yeah,
Is that
it's a good reference. But I think that's just a simple key cornerstone, if you will.
yeah, the Keystone, Cornerstone?
Keynote.
So yeah, I mean, of course, when that happens, when you think about when you have albums, right, and then for a while there you went to cassettes because just for ease of travel, you put a cassette player, you put a record player in your car, really. So you had cassettes, and then then CDs came out, and then you made the transition. And I don't know why I got so into CDs. I hate CDs. I don't respect them. But I mean, I think there's something to having the album break up into two parts, so you can remember the first song on the second side of an album. But to try to remember track 6 on an album on a CD is different. But when you made the transition, we figured CDs was the wave of the future and what was going to happen.
Yeah,
so
it changed things.
It was a big
sure.
deal, which and the sound quality, and then a lot of times they remastered it because just at that time when they started doing the digital stuff, the bands would go back in the studio and remaster some of their albums. But so we'd always say to people, okay, when you switch to CDs, what are the first CDs you bought? Because what are you going to buy? You're going to buy stuff that you think that the sound quality is going to be.
Topic. That's a great topic right there.
It's crazy stuff. So mine was 2112 is what I'm getting at.
And that the whole thing about what you're kind of I segue into your media conversion things that they did, but back in the day they used to sell records by one song at a time. So this is where I came up with the concept of this album rock thing, because Pink Floyd obviously in 1979 had a double album that was completely integrated with every concept. But before that, it was like you're buying a song. Now you got the 1971.
Now you're back to you're buying a song.
I think 1971 when they did Dark Side of the Moon, it was considered
73.
It was, everything kind of melds together. You can't listen to one track and just hear the end of the song because it goes into another song.
Okay.
So that's kind of the little bit of where it started. I guess.
Segue.
It's before my time, but
yeah,
I think that's kind of how the album
though.
rock concept that I presented as this topic.
Yes,
is evident, and then of course we have our Rush albums here. They're very evident that they kind of went on a concept for most of their records, and then you'll find a lot of the bands did this. But you'll find also
you're right.
Things that don't match.
Sometimes there's just the album format versus the concept album. Where there's, like one song will go into another song, and then the rest of it's a little bit different.
But I think it was, as far as the record industry, this is my kind of point on it, or my take on it, is it really progressed the record industry and the way that people presented their art, the craft of recording music, because it was easy to sell a lot of music that way, I guess. And of course, it's now different. So that's kind of.
I mean, a big part, of course, is the artwork. You got a size of canvas you can work with versus CD.
Gatefold records that a lot of times had lyrics inside of them.
Oh man, it's like holding a treasure in your hands, and you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, the times have changed, and it's kind of hard for us old guys to.
It's like how Marshall McLuhan says the old technology the new technology doesn't render the old technology obsolete. It turns it into an art form. So now the albums are back.
I love it.
Albums are back. It's like it's a little bit of a cycle.
Yeah, we've recognized that.
And they're actually bands are putting out new albums that are higher quality vinyl. Than the old ones were.
Yeah, for a good markup.
That's right. But I never loved CDs, and I never respected them. I don't respect them. My albums none of them has a scratch. I'll hold it by the sides.
Yeah, as long as you take care of it.
Put it on there, a little disc washer or whatever, and there's no scratches. But my CDs, Just throw them around like nobody cares.
Yeah, they were supposed to be indestructible.
No, I took that a little to heart, and they're not.
Yeah, that was their marketing point back in the day, but because you can't scratch them. Yeah, right.
Well, it was a little scary
That
because
was the thing with records. You could scratch it, and then it
Scratch
wouldn't be
the hell out of it.
playable, so
well, I was just
potentially.
yeah, I think about the like you said, the difference between the segue and just a natural rhythm of an album versus the concept album, where every part of the album is works on the other part. It's a whole story.
Yeah, I love that.
Anyway, 2112 is the
Good
first
marketing scheme. And
it's the first.
A lot of guys used it to their advantage. So.
The first CD I bought when tapes went to CDs, and oh gosh, 2112. You kidding me?
Yep.
So it's a good story of the Rush put out the first two albums, Rush and Fly By Night, and then the third album was called Caress of Steel. It's right here, and this is a bit of a concept album too. The second side for sure is a concept album. And oh man, these gatefolds are so freaking cool.
Yeah, there's a really
so
long
cool.
song with different chapters. And
oh my lord, that's so cool. And it's got the pyramid on the front. When we were speaking about the best album covers of all time and identifying the themes, pyramid's one of them. So that's there. But what happened is the record did not sell. Caress of Steel did not sell very well. And so the record executives, Rush said, okay, we're ready for the next album. They said, well, just please don't make it a concept album. In fact, I think they pretty much forbid them and said, you got to make a pop album, 3-minute songs and you go towards poppiness. And Rush is like, whatever. And so they made an even crazier concept album than Caress of Steel.
Entire side devoted to the concept.
It was so cool. It was the year 2112. And it's a modern world, but just stumble upon a guitar in their travels, and they just fall in love with it. It's magical. What can this thing be that I found?
Yeah, there's a major storyline because
it's a good story.
There's a prologue written inside the liner notes.
There's a hilarious picture of these guys.
Outlines the whole situation, and the songs are about realizing music when it's forbidden.
Right,
basically.
it's like a forbidden to play music in the future, and in 2112, and they find the guitar, and he comes behind before the council. He says, "Dude, check this out! What I found." And they're like, "No, get rid of that. Don't delay us further. We have no use for ancient ways."
And that's it. Kind of familiar themes these days.
Sure.
Gotta progress and
censorship and
forget about everybody's sensibilities that might have relevance.
But it's always a hallmark of a band that just flips the bird to the record company and their suggestions.
Yeah, that was the remarkable part about.
They said, "Whatever, if we go down with the ship."
They were very successful with it when they actually bucked the record companies. We're gonna drop you if you don't.
I was about to say that was kind of a make or break album. Is the thing is that so they said, well, we're going to do our own thing no matter what, even though you told us not to, and you told us that's suicide.
This is 1976, and during the last half of the 70s, it was kind of a prolific a thing. There's quite a few things like Tommy and.
There's incredible things, but also you got your disco going on, and
I think Tommy's ahead of that, maybe, but.
Yeah, Tommy's ahead of that for sure, but yeah, they would. Rush. It was kind of a make or break album, and they just said they took a chance. They said, "Well, if we go down, we go down. We're doing what we want to do, and we're then take it or leave it." So, it's one of my favorite albums of all time, and it's my favorite band of all time is Rush.
Yeah, and I'd like to see it happen again, but it won't. So.
Well, no,
these are the times that's why we talk about this stuff, because these are things that you won't ever experience.
Good point.
Bad Bunny ain't doing no.
Bad Bunny ain't no Rush.
Album.
So I think a lot of times I think about to myself like, what music we'll be listening to in 50 years that we listen to now. You think about Mozart. You still listen to Mozart. That's 1750 basically. So we're talking 250 years ago, 300 years ago. And we still listen to Mozart, and we still consider him brilliant, and he's still relevant. And so what bands in the last 20 years, 30 years that are around now will we be listening to in 50 years?
Yep.
If any.
Perfect question. I love that.
But Rush is,
And try to think out of the lines of what's already on the radio that is 30 years old, 40 years old, because there's a lot of that, and that's why,
Well,
you got to recognize that what we're talking about is real. So
Well, hardcore Rush fans too, of course, worship 2112 when they're doing Tom Sawyer and moving pictures and stuff like that. They're going forward, and so we always go to their concerts because we worship the band Rush, and they're incredible, and their concerts are fantastic. They're great musicians. It's wizardry. They always have a great stage show, but they would never play 2112. And so then finally, I'm trying to think what year it would have been, 92 maybe, something like that. They decided to do the first side of 2112 was to open up the show. And everyone was just like, no, we've been waiting our whole lives for this,
they let us wait for a while. That's true.
Well, they said part of it was, they were just out trying new things, and which was working, and they were really cool new things.
Throughout
but they
kind of
wanted to go forward at the time, and they would also another part they wouldn't play the song "Working Man" either, because they said they don't really think that way anymore. But which they eventually brought back as well. But we weren't sure if we'd ever get to see 2112 played live or not, and sure enough, they decided to tour. We'll have to look it up what year that was, Ledbelly, but
that sounds right.
Someone's telling me 92, something right around there.
Yeah, I remember that. It was like Test for Echo. No, that was after. That was the first time. That was after. Fiddlers. It was after that. So.
Yeah, well, Roll the Bones was the Fiddlers, remember?
Yeah.
Or Presto, with the hats and the rabbits coming. The rabbits were coming out of the hats.
First Fiddler show I got to see. Yeah.
That's funny. Wait, was that the 2112?
No.
Was it 2112? Then the Presto was the second?
Definitely after that.
Okay. I'm trying to think what they did after 2112. Did they take a break?
Before the one I got to see him on second row at Fiddlers. So, timelines are hard.
Did they take a break and play different after 2112, or did they go straight into other music? I'm trying to remember now.
I have a recording somewhere. But
nice.
Why do I think that? And I managed to wander up pretty close.
You remember, Dave? Was that the Presto tour, or was that two different tours? Almost seems to me like it was.
Yeah, Presto
was the tour that they played 2112.
I saw them on
first half of 2012,
and that was a couple other ones I seen them. Down
I bought some expensive tickets for that one just because I had.
They won tickets to second.
2112 was. You won tickets what?
I won tickets for I don't know what tour it was, but it was.
Of Rush?
My second row tickets. My first time I actually got that close at Fiddler's Green.
Yeah,
I'd won.
It's not that easy to get close.
On the radio.
They used to have at Fiddler's Green called the Hot Seats Club, and you paid a fee. I can't remember. It wasn't that much. You paid a fee, but then you paid $5 more per ticket, but you were guaranteed front 10 rows. And it was so funny because you had these forms you had to fill them out in triplicate. A lot of people probably don't even know what that means. But then you take off. It had a little thing. Pink coffee is this and that, and orange coffee is for you and whatever. Then you had to drive down the other one or mail it to the Fiddler's Green box office, and then they would give you the tickets. And it was.
I should have been told.
But yeah, I had some decent tickets for that show, and it was good stuff. So concept albums, what else you got, Ledbelly?
Although
we could talk about Rush forever.
I think that we're just going to scrape the tip of the iceberg and leave for the next one, I think. But
well, mixed metaphors aside, Ledbelly, I think you're right about that.
Because my mind has wandered consistently.
If there's one thing we're consistent at, it's being inconsistent.
Yeah.
So, you think of Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Yeah.
The ultimate concept album.
A very relatable.
I don't know how.
A contemporary concept, I guess. Not contemporary, but, historical concept.
Well, yeah, relatable insofar as, there were a lot of kids that dads didn't come back from the war.
Yeah, because it relates a lot to the World War II. Growing up as a, child of a soldier. Actually, World War I think he fucking got killed, and that's what the whole thing is about. Losing his dad and nothing left to grip onto, but, try to figure it out. So.
And then Mother built that wall, and then he had real trouble. So.
Yeah, of course, yeah. There's the obstacles you got to encounter that make it harder to figure shit out.
Well, of course, the wall had the movie too, so which.
The symbolism of the wall is pretty imminent. So, and you could go expound on that. But
who's that? Was Bob Geldof?
Bob Geldof got the lead role as the actor as Pink in the
Oh, by the way, which one's pink?
autobiographical kind of content that the wall presents.
Which everyone regards as a work of genius, which it is. But then I think of the two. They're obviously have to do with the movie, but they're almost so big. The movie and the album, but they're almost so big. They took on a life of their own. You know, Run Like Hell and Comfortably Numb, especially Comfortably Numb.
Yeah, Comfortably Numb.
Some of the best
Hey
guitar
You.
playing of all time, and just. But those are the two songs David Gilmour wrote.
Yeah,
So-
it's amazing lyrical kind of lead guitar lines and amazing.
Oh, God. So
beautiful
good.
music, just beautiful
So good.
compositions. So
Yeah, I think I watched the movie The Wall, like, God, can't even count that many times.
yeah, that's why I
20,
like to
30,
get to
40
that.
times.
I love that subject. So definitely was something that I watched
me-
more than anything.
To me, an even better album is Animals by Pink Floyd. And that's basically talks about pigs, sheep, and dogs. And pigs are the politicians, and the dogs are the corporate, you know, the powerful powers that be, the CEOs and you have to keep one eye looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta look out. 'Cause
Yeah, I mean,
they're
they're,
gonna come up on you.
You know, presidents of companies and such, and
That is an amazing reference.
and those are the dogs, but then the
that's
sheep, of
how-
course, there's everybody else.
I think that's how they figured that the wall would be a great concept. I don't know, but
Well, they were basically, I mean, you were either a pig or a dog or a sheep.
that
And,
is and yeah.
I'll
I
take.
think Pink Floyd is the pretty much eminent example of concept record group.
You know, sometimes I think I was a dog, but unfortunately, most of the time,
symbolism there.
most of the time, even I, as an independent thinker, is still sheep.
Hilarious.
But that song "Sheep Dogs" is I mean, one of the best songs of all time. If you are not familiar with the Animals album, I mean, embrace that. You owe it to yourself. You do yourself a huge favor.
Absolutely.
And the guitar playing in Dogs, wow, 17-minute version, 17-minute song.
Yeah, I mean,
That
it's like the whole thing that I'm trying to talk about is you put the needle down at track one, and you don't say, oh, well, that's the end of that. You listen throughout the entire side of the record.
no, my friend Carol, her older brothers, kind of got us into some music here and there. They showed us some stuff. They were like, they had a policy. You know, if you put out an album, you have to at least see that album, that side through. There's no way you can stop. You can't stop the needle halfway through. You got to listen to at least the whole side, if not the whole album. They got real upset if you didn't. But they also was. What was the one that they also did with that? That if you were making a mixed tape, so if you're doing like Uma Guma that has 4 sides, right? But it didn't quite fit on the 45-minute side. So my buddy reversed the 2 of the albums, right? And just so it would fit better on the TDK tape. And these guys
Rearranged the
were
record.
apoplectic. They were beside themselves. Like, you did what?
Well, that's another
You
thing.
mixed? You put astronomy to me after?
A lot of the records, the double live records,
Oh,
for
yeah.
instance, wouldn't even fit on CDs. So
Well, I never forget my worst story about that is somebody taped Master of Puppets for me from an album onto a cassette tape. TDK. I prefer the TDK SA90s myself. But they left out the song Orion because it was 52 minutes long and they only had 45 minutes to work with. So I never knew about the song Orion until decades later.
How brutal
when they're
is
playing I think they're playing it on tour. I think it was And Justice for All. But somebody was getting me ready for that tour. They're like, check this out. I'm like, what song is this? So I'm like, the Master of Puppets. I'm like, I love Master of Puppets backwards and forwards, every goddamn single note, every single drum beat, every single guitar lick, every single everything.
except the case.
Except I didn't know there was a song called Orion. Isn't that crazy? I was so upset.
Wow.
And so elated at the same time.
Yeah, I can imagine the.
I was like, how the
whoa.
fuck did I not know the song Orion was on the album Master of Puppets?
That should
mean,
not be. Things that should not
the
be.
things that should not be. Dun, 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 dun. So, okay, what else we got, Ledbelly? Styx Grand Illusion?
Styx Grand Illusion. I think.
Older reference lost on younger viewers.
The epitome might be Tommy. The
Tommy?
rock opera Tommy
The Who?
is a pretty good one.
Wow, that has some guest stars, didn't it?
Just because, there's a whole storyline, and it is a play-oriented kind of.
Yeah,
It's
excuse
a
me.
storyboard, if you will, but
Don't mean to bore myself.
yeah, I don't know.
No,
I think Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts
So
Band
there we go. We got
has
Sergeant Pepper's on it. There we go.
has actually been presented as that kind of.
Oh yeah, I think
one
you
of the
can.
first
I think you can
concept
safely
albums.
say that's a concept album. Yes. Phil, what's your favorite of all of them?
Yes, sir.
Which one's your favorite concept album of all of Ledbelly?
God damn it! I did listen to the Who played Tommy completely through live, and I have a recording of that. It was pretty freaking cool.
The
man.
Gypsy, the Acid Queen.
And actually, if you ever check out Roger Waters' The Wall live at the Berlin Wall, that is pretty amazing.
Well, yes.
Because it has a lot of, it's the whole entire album with a bunch of guest artists.
Scorpions were there.
And Scorpions are the house band, and Van Morrison plays like.
That's a
Young
pretty good
Ross,
house band. Have Scorpions.
So, that one is one of my favorite things to revisit. But, The Wall is pretty imminent.
Well, it's tough to beat. It's just so iconic. Another brick in the wall.
That would have to be it. Cause,
Over 2112?
Yeah,
Ooh.
2112.
Oh, man.
It's just not the entire album. It's only
Well,
one
that's true.
side.
That's true. The first song
But
outside.
the first side of 2112 for sure
Ooh,
is
man.
ultimate for me. But
Wow, better than Wall?
yeah, well, just because there's so much. Like I said, there's a prologue, and
Yeah, I love a good prologue.
Neil's lyrics are like very is cerebral.
Yes.
It makes you think. So
Cerebral, indeed.
I love to. That's the whole thing. Put people's involvement with it. Feel that you know something about it, or
Well, I do still something about it, but yes.
I don't know.
No, I know
Can
exactly.
relate-
I know exactly what
relate
you're talking
with music.
about.
That's
Exactly what you're talking
I
about.
think the ultimate marketing tool is be able to relate your product to the masses. So
Yeah, I can't. I mean, gosh, dang, that's tough stuff. But I'd have to go with Rush 2112.
yeah, it's pretty. It keeps you thinking.
Oh, it's heavy and spatial at the same time, and definitely gets you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's imagery laden, and the moods. You kind of feel like you feel the mood of the guy that finds the guitar, and you're like, almost like
it's a dramatic. Deal.
dramatic is a great word. And it's almost makes you think like you feel like you're there, and then you're identifying it. And anyway, I'm a Rush head, so I got to go with 2112.
Well played, well written.
Terry Brown, producer.
Yep.
That was good stuff.
Dig it, man. Well,
Dig it.
revisit that and
Well, leave
tell
a
us
comment.
what you like.
Yes, leave a comment. Tell us which
'Cause
one
I
we
know
left
we
out.
forgot
We left out a
80
billion of them.
so-
There just wasn't time, but I think we covered a couple of the best ones. Like
it's food for thought, or whatever you say. Music for thought.
animals. Wow, animals might. I think animals. I'll put animals above the Wall myself.
That has a lot of merit. So
Does I mean the lyrics on Dogs
they
is
designed
just
it that way. So
first time I saw Roger Waters. It was just the best story and the worst story I had. It was my birthday is July 2nd, and July 3rd was Roger Waters. But the Allman Brothers were playing July 3rd also. Some knucklehead put the Allman Brothers and Roger Waters on the same night. But I'd seen the Allman Brothers like 20-some times, and I'd never seen Roger Waters. And so my girlfriend at the time bought me 10th row tickets to the Roger Waters concert at Fiddler's Green. But then what happened was, my friend knows the Allman Brothers, and they called me up the night before on my birthday. I was just going to pretend the 3rd was my birthday. I went to bed early on my actual birthday. I get a phone call in the middle of the night. It says, "Hey, come down, and we're partying with the Allman Brothers at the hotel, Denver West Marriott." It was. So I'm like, okay, I got to do this. I got up, went down there, and they had closed. It was a Sunday night. They had closed down the bar, and there was no booze to be had. So thank God I had a bottle of vodka in my trunk at the time, and they worshipped me because they were like, "What are we gonna do? We're out of booze." I'm like, "No, we're not." They loved me, and I brought them some weed. My buddy and I were growing some really good weed at the time,
night.
so I brought them some pot. So we got buddy with them, right? So we're sitting in the hotel room. It's Red Dog, and the only roadie that's been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. and it was J-Mo, the guitar, the drummer, original drummer, and it was Butch Trucks for a minute, came in and out. Mark Quinones, the other drummer who played with Fire Dryer also, and then a couple other sound guys and roadie guys, and so we got Buddy Blade there. Said, you know what, dude, you once you come to the concert tomorrow night, we'll put you on the stage. You can sit on the stage for the Allman Brothers show. And I had to tell him I was going to Roger Waters. Well, I appreciate that on this sitting on the stage. Just sounds lovely. But, like, why does that have to be two different the same night? Why can't it be two different nights? And I didn't know what to do, so I should have just. I was like, well, maybe I'll blow off Roger Waters, sit on the stage with the Allman Brothers, but. It was
you only get to hang with legends every once
people
in a
think I got a made Ledbelly, but I got tough decisions to make too. In my life, I've had some real tough ones.
That was terrible. Come on, just one more.
I mean, are you kidding me, dude? But what I was getting at is during the Roger Waters concert, he played the song "Dogs," all 17-minute version, 17 to 10, I believe it is. And so, I mean, literally, the intro came on, and I got chills. Like goosebumps and chills going up and down my spine, and it was, it was as good as I knew it would be. And, I mean, Pink Floyd at the time, Pink Floyd was not playing that, and so Roger Waters did, and woof.
I can't remember if I went to that one.
Yeah, that was something special. Let me tell you. So there's the first part, then there's a spacey kind of middle, and then there's the second part, and the spacey middle, they bring out this table and. These chairs and then a bar. Also, there's a waitress, and they're sitting there playing cards. Well, because there's only half the band's playing on the middle part. It's kind of spacey and trippy, but the main guys aren't playing, so they sit down there, start playing cards. Ladies bringing them cocktails. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
So yeah, it was. I mean, I know every word to that song, every note to that song. It's just so.
Yeah,
so ingrained.
Some good memories of listening to that for the first time, for sure. Or getting to know that song for sure.
I mean, those words they spell it out, man. But
perfect example because they actually Dogs Part 1, Dogs Part 2.
No, I think it's just Dogs, but it's Pigs Pigs on the Wing Part 1, and Pigs on the Wing Part 2.
Sheep Part 2. Yeah,
sheep, I think it's just sheep, but
there's only one Dogs.
I think there's only one Dogs. Yeah, I think there's only one sheep too, but there's Pigs on the Wing 1 and 2. And the song Pigs itself might have 3 parts or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to revisit it.
I know. I haven't looked at that record in a while.
Ledbelly and I have forgotten more about rock and roll than most people ever know.
I see the vinyl on that one. I do.
Oh,
that's how I got to know it was on vinyl, but I've never
so flipping good. Yeah, vinyl as well. My college roommate had that, and we'd put that was our when we were in the dorm was our kind of our go to sleep album. We put on Dogs, so I literally heard it 100 times, a lot of things. Hundreds and hundreds of times. So anyway, I'm going with Rush. Everybody's going with The Wall.
Yeah.
Please tell us what your favorite concept album of all time is.
There's some rap artists out there, I think.
We might have to revisit this topic, dude, because there's just so much more. I mean, it's just
awesome to talk about that, because music is great. So
we
want to hear your
opinions. I like
opinions
music too, bro. Yeah, we like to talk about music, man. What else we got to do?
I know, right?
So, I did see somewhere that the guys from Pink Floyd, they thought Animals was good. They didn't think it was great. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You're kidding me right now. It's incredible. So, anyway, we're signing off, and thanks for watching. And leave comments, please. Leave comments.
Yes.
And tune in for the next one. Thanks, Ledbelly.
Look for you next time.
Over and out. Rock and roll.